guys. Okay, so we're gonna start with a little breathing. So just come to a comfortable seat. You guys can sit up on some of your pillows just to raise your seat a little bit. It makes it a little more comfortable and it allows you to extend the spine a little taller. Let me see if my comment pinned. Oh, it did. Okay. Just checking on the IG. I'll try to make sure I stay in the camera view for the phone. All right, so take a couple seconds to adjust and just find a nice, tall, comfortable seat. So again, by lifting your seat up, sometimes it's a little more comfortable to sit in this position. And just draw the shoulders back and down. Lift the spine tall. Excuse me. And start to tune into your breath. And without changing the breath, just notice its pace. So the pace of the breath often dictates or signifies what is going on in the body and the mind. So if we are agitated or frightened or really stressed out, our breath tends to get shorter and quicker and faster. And then on the other hand, when we are relaxed and calm, our breath tends to get quieter and softer and longer. So the benefit to yoga, restorative yoga, and meditation is that we can influence how the mind and the body feel by changing the breath. So by focusing on how we're breathing, we can help the mind quiet down. We can help the body quiet down. So now just start to invite a deeper inhale and a longer exhale. Through this next hour or so, your breath is going to be your biggest tool and your biggest guide to focus on. And by allowing for a nice, long, deep breath, you allow your body to relax. So you turn your body into its parasympathetic state. And that's where everything kind of quiets down. Things turn off. The body heals itself. Right? And our stress levels go way down. And that's what we want to tap into this evening. Take a couple more deep breaths just like that. And then you can gently blink the eyes open. And you can just take the arms, pillows are all over, close to me, alongside you. We're just going to do some gentle movements with the arms and then we'll come into some shapes. So with your breath, as you inhale, reach the right arm up and over. And then as you exhale, lower the right arm down. Inhale, switching sides. So just nice and slow, moving through some side bends. Exhale, release. And you don't have to go as fast as me. You can even go slower than me. So go at the pace of your own breath. Your inhale lifts the arm up. And your exhale floats the arm down. Go ahead and do one more time each side. And then just come back to center. And with your inhale, float both arms up. And as you exhale, very gently just hinge forward. And then we're going to start to walk our hands over to the right side. And once we're over at the right, we're going to lift the right arm up and we're going to come back into that side bend. And then float the right arm down. Slowly walk your hands back to center. over to the left. Again, take your time. And we gently reach the left arm up, coming back into that side bend. So our first couple shapes will be some side openings. So we're just doing some gentle movements to prep us for those shapes. And being very mindful and deliberate in your movements. So this restorative practice is very slow moving. So even in and out of the shapes, you want to move very slowly. If you already dim the lights, that's great, or your lights are down. Maybe you guys want to dim the lights if you haven't already. And then the next time your hands are forward, you can gently walk the hands back in. Good, and then we're going to come to just sit on your right hip. So come off of your pillows and just sit on your right hip and kind of just stagger the legs in a comfortable position so the knees will be bent. And we're going to take maybe a smaller pillow if you have, or if you have like a longer shaped pillow. I'm actually going to take this square pillow. It's kind of squishy, and I'm going to fold it in half. If you have that bed cover, Nishant, you can kind of roll that too, or fold that. So you're on your right hip, your legs are just comfortably staggered, knees are bent, and you're going to come to lie on your side, and that pillow is going to be underneath the right side of your rib cage. Try to come back in the camera a little bit for you. The right arm is going to be straight overhead. And then you'll have some options with the left arm. So there should be a little elevation to the ribs laying on that pillow, and you're kind of draping over that pillow. So your options for your left arm are just to stay right in front of you. You can reach the left arm overhead. And then from here you can even lean back a little bit. So you can actually find a little bit of a spinal twist in this side bend position. And if it's your first time joining, take a couple seconds and just make sure you're comfortable. So you want to be comfortable in these shapes. We do hold them for, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes longer. So you want to be comfortable, and you don't want to feel too much, you really don't want to feel much tension at all. Very, very, very gentle stretching, but nothing that's going to make you uncomfortable. And if you are uncomfortable, get yourself some more pillows and just fill in the gaps. Good. Again, here you have the option to lean back a little bit and draw that left shoulder back. And your head should be resting on the right arm, like it's its own little pillow of your arm. And I invite you guys to close the eyes and just breathe in this shape. Also noticing how the breath feels. So maybe you notice that the breath fills the left side of the rib cage a little more. And if you do notice that, see if you can fill the breath a little bit more into the right side of the rib cage. So the side of the rib cage that's on the pillows. So see if you can still breathe evenly in this position. Even though we're a little asymmetrical in shape. And making sure we're not tensing anywhere. So if you notice you're holding on to any tension, try to relax. So we want our muscles to literally not work in this practice. Right? There's no effort in holding ourselves up. We're just completely draping ourselves over the props that we're using. We'll stay for a couple more breaths. And then again, as we transition, moving very slowly and mindfully. So to come out, we'll slowly, if your left arm is overhead, and just sliding it out so that's more in front of the face. and use your left hand to gently press yourself up. Very slow movements. And we're going to stay on this right hip here. We're just going to adjust our pillow fort, right? I guess what we're doing is building pillow forts. So we're still on our right hip. Now you're going to get a little more height. So you might want 1 or 2 pillows. You might want to double up on your pillows or stack them. Actually, I want to use this one. It's a little more firm. If you have something that's a little more firm of a pillow, you can use that for this one. So we're going to build a little more of a pillow fort. Our right hip is on the ground. Our legs are still in that stagger shape, wherever is comfortable. And we're going to continue with the twist. So now we're going to take one arm, a hand on each side of our little pillow fort, lengthen the spine, and then you're going to bring your belly and your chest down onto that pillow fort. And I want you to take your right cheek to the pillows. So we're coming into just a supported spinal twist here. And you can gently walk your fingers forward. And now you have an option with the head. So staying on this right cheek is a little bit less intense of a stretch and twist. You can try turning on to the left cheek and see if you like that. If it's too much, stay on the right cheek. So turning on to the left cheek is going to be a little more intense of a twist. Both are good, but if you feel too much tension, when you flip your head over, come back to the easier side, which is the right cheek. Good. So your hips should still be on the mat, and then your torso is just lying over those pillows. And again, invite the eyes to close. And just invite the torso to be heavy. And this is our chance to completely let go. Your hour or so of self-care. And physically we're able to let go of holding ourselves up because we bring these props into the practice, the pillows in this case, to support our body. Right? So that gives us a sense of comfort. And that we can give into that support and let go. Again, notice how the breath feels in this position. Does the spine twisting affect how the breath feels to you? And there's no wrong answers. It's just being the observer. Being mindful of how the body feels. Right, deepening our awareness and our mind-body connection. Right, really just getting to know ourselves a little better. And throughout the practice, if you find yourself thinking of anything but your practice, just come back to your breath. So the mind will inevitably wander. But you can use the breath to reel your focus back in. A couple more rounds of breath here. And then very slowly we're going to start to walk our hands in, lifting our torso up. And then we're going to come right into the opposite side with that first pose that we did. So whatever pillow you have, let's first switch our legs. So just take your knees to the opposite side. You're going to have that same kind of stagger stance to the legs and the knees. And so just kind of bend them and let them stagger. And whatever you used on the other side for the first shape, right? I said grab something a little narrower, maybe fold a blanket, or I have a squishier pillow. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to come to lie. So the left side of my rib cage is right underneath, on top of that blanket roll or that pillow. And so you just fold the pillow in half. Take a couple seconds to adjust. Legs are just in a staggered position. They should be comfortable. If you want to change the legs, that's fine. Left arm straight. And you're going to rest your head on your left arm just like it's its own little pillow. And then you have an option with the right hand. You can either just let it chill here right in front of you, or you can reach the right arm up and over so the palms face each other. And then you can also invite a little bit of a twist here, and we do that by just taking the right shoulder back a little. So you kind of just lean back and roll back just a touch. Remember, be comfortable. So if you're not, grab some more pillows. If you feel any pressure points on the floor, maybe put a pillow or a blanket there. And just breathe here. So as humans, we are programmed to be constantly thinking, really for survival. So it takes a lot of practice to learn how to quiet the mind. And I actually had a question yesterday. I think she's on here right now doing practice with us. Have any tips on how to stop negative thoughts, right? So again, as humans, it's survival. So we're programmed to think of the worst and think of the negative and remember the worst because it's a survival mechanism. So we literally have to retrain our brains, right? So the very first step is just being aware of your thoughts. So the more you're aware of just all of your thoughts, the good and the bad, that way when you notice the bad thought, you notice it, right? The more aware you are, you notice the bad thoughts and you can just try to change them around in your mind. You can literally just replace it with something positive. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a quick fix. It takes practice. It takes time, but it is possible. There was a neurophysicist who actually wrote a book on it. If you're interested, I can give you the name of that book. It's really cool stuff. It's called The Buddha's Brain by Rick Hansen. Got a few more breaths here in the shape. And then nice and slow, we're going to slide our right arm or right hands, that's more towards the face. Gently press yourself up. Good, we're going to stay on that left hip. And then find your little pillow fort that you built on the opposite side. And also keep in mind, we might feel different on left and right side. So maybe this side you need another pillow. Maybe you need less of a pillow. So adjust your pillow forts, right, according to how your body feels when we're in these asymmetrical poses. And then you're going to have one hand on either side of your little pillow fort. Take a second, just lengthen the spine gently, and then just drape your body and your torso over that pillow fort. Let's start on the left cheek first. It's a little less intense way. Legs are just comfortably staggered, knees are bent. You can reach your arms forward just a touch, but we don't want to be stretching too much. Right, we're very, very passive here, not an active pose. So start on the left cheek. If you want to go a little further, you can turn on to the right cheek.
But again, if it's too much, stay in the left cheek. So for me, that's a little too much stretch that I want to feel right now, so I'm going to stay on my left cheek. But if it feels good on the other side, please go for it. Good. Breathe into the shape. Letting go into the shape and into your little pillow fort and your support underneath you. So feel it holding you up. And as you feel it hold you up, let go. Become softer. Let the body relax further. Drawing your attention to your inhales and exhales. Notice your breath. And just allow the spine to feel a little softer. Allow the torso to feel a little softer. Couple more breaths. Good. And let's slowly start to walk the hands in. Bring yourself up to sit. Moving nice and slow. So we're going to take the legs out in front of us from here. Have your pillows close by. You might need a couple more. We're going to do a little forward fold sequence. So have them within reach. So start with the legs straight, and then we're going to bend the right knee. So bend the right knee and take the right knee out to the side. Your right foot can touch the middle of that inner left thigh. So now we're going to come to a forward fold over the left leg. So there's a tiny bit of a spinal twist that's going on in this pose too. So what feels really good, if you have your first pillow, and try to really kind of, I don't want to say jam it in, but jam it into your hip crease as close as you can, so that it's really up in that hip crease as you start to bring yourself forward. And you're going to feel like maybe you need some more pillows. So take as many as you need. Very gentle stretch, right? You should not feel like this is torture at all, right? Forward folds can be tough. So some of you guys might need a lot of pillows, and we might be up a little bit higher. If you can kind of finagle a position where your head rests also, where your face isn't totally smashed in the pillows, that would be ideal. And then the arms can just come alongside you here. Again, very gentle stretch you should feel. Shouldn't feel like too much tension in the back of the leg or the back. If it does, make your pillow fort a little bit higher. And really try to get to the position where your head can rest on the pillow. And let go of the weight of your head. Right, our head it's pretty heavy, right? And we're always holding it up all day as we walk around. So consciously just try to let go of the weight of your head. Let your head sink into the pillow. And by doing so, we can kind of send a signal to the rest of the body to soften. Right? Our head is like the body's leader, obviously. It contains our brain, right? So if we can allow the head and the brain to relax, we can therefore allow the body to relax, right? So it all starts in the mind and in the head. Even by physically releasing the weight of the head, it can help us start to relax. A couple of you took my class this morning, and we did this shape in a more vinyasa format, and I had said not to let the back round, but in this particular case, I'm okay with you letting the back round and the shoulders round. Notice how the breath feels. Do you feel as though you can breathe a little bit more into the back of the body in the shape? Breathing into the back of the waist. And visualize breathing into the back of the lungs. As you relax, let your body sink a little further. Get a little softer and even a little heavier. Continue to slow down the breaths. Stay here for a few more moments. Nice and slow, start to walk your hands in. Gently lift up. Let your head be the last thing that comes up. Just kind of unround the spine as you bring that spine back to neutral. And then as we change position of the legs, use your hands. So pick up your knee, straighten it out with your arms, bring your hands behind the left knee, bend it with your hands, right? So try not to, again, using the least amount of muscular engagement, kind of move your legs into that opposite position with your hands. So now we have the right leg straight, left knee is bent, left foot is pretty close to the inner left thigh. And you might need the same little pillow stack. Maybe you're going to need a little different shape or stack of pillows here, but do try to take either like the corner of the pillow and bring it as close to the hip crease as you can before you come to lie down on your little fort. So I would try the same stack you had, and then if you need more, you can add more pillows, but really recommend trying to bring something to rest your head on. right? So make sure your head can rest on something. If you guys have blocks at all, block would work. Good, guys. And take a couple seconds. There's no rush to set up. There's no rush to get into the pose. Don't feel like you need to move fast to set up. Plenty of time. And just observe how the body feels on the second side. Is there anything different to notice? Does the breath feel the same? And purposely try to send some breath into the back of the ribs and the back of the lungs and the back of the waist. Breathing into the back of the body. So we are typically less aware of the back of our body, most really because we don't see it, right? We don't look at it as much. We are always looking at the front of the body. So we kind of forget about the back of the body. So poses like this can help us draw a little bit more attention to the back and to breathing into the back. Let your body get softer. Let your head feel heavier. Let go of the weight of your head. And just be in the shape and breathe. Remember that your breath is your guide. It is your connection to the mind and to the body. So pay attention to your breathing. Relaxing the muscles of the face. And letting the lips feel soft. A few more rounds of breath here. Slowly let the head come up last. Walk the hands in nice and slow. Roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time until you come back to neutral. You can place the pillows to the side. Use your hands to lift your left knee up and straighten the left leg. So we're going to forward fold now with both legs straight. You guys stay where you're at. I'm just going to change my angle so you can see me a little better. Alright, so we might need maybe a couple more pillows here. Typically this pose is a little harder, so you might need a little more pillow stacks. Also, you can sit on a pillow. Actually, I would recommend that. Sit on a pillow. And then bring that first pillow, try to bring it all the way up into the hip crease. And then see what you need for the rest. So we're just going to come forward, fold over the both straight legs here. And then you also want to, again, try to give your head something to rest on. Again, take your time setting up. Don't feel rushed to get there. Experiment. So a lot of, in the studio, I'd be able to help you a little bit more, but we're at home, so we're going to have to get creative. And a lot of this stuff is getting creative, like with props and different ways to support your body and what feels good. All right, one more thing you can do too, if your hamstrings are really tight, you can place a pillow, I should have said this earlier, under your knees, right? That's one more option. Pillow under the knees if your hamstrings are really tight. All right, you can see me there, pillow under the knees. If you don't need that, then you don't need it. So again, if it feels too tense, add more pillows, the name of the game. Definitely bring your head to rest on something. Arms alongside you, arms softly bent. You can let the shoulders round and let the back round. I would never say that in a regular vinyasa practice, but restorative has a different set of rules and a different purpose, right? So in yoga, there's lots of versions of the same pose, and it just kind of depends what effect you want from them, what benefit do you want from them, right? And here we're just going for a more relaxing, renewing, and restorative effect. So let the body be soft yet heavy. Letting go of any efforts of holding your body up. Relaxing the muscles of the face and breathing into the back of the body. So by nature, forward folds kind of just encourage ourselves to turn inward just because the shape of the pose, right? As we fold in half, we kind of fold into ourselves, right? And the head comes down and the shoulders round. So we have more of an advantage to be the observer of our own body. The pose itself kind of shuts off the world around us, so to say. So we have a great opportunity to just learn and see what's going on inside right now. Noticing the thoughts. And if you notice their negative thoughts, that's good that you notice them. Now practice letting that go and filling it with a positive thought. Imagine with each exhale you can let go a little further. each exhale, you can become a little softer. Now stay in the shape for a few more rounds of breath. Allow yourself to be the observer of how you feel. Nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time as you walk the hands in. Slowly roll yourself up. And then you can slide the pillows to the side. Scoot yourself off of that bottom pillow. Now, if you remember what you took for that side bend, when I had you like find something a little more narrow, I want you to take whatever you took when we first started. Right, so I took my pillow and folded it in half so I get a little bit more narrow of a shape. And you're gonna place that narrow pillow or narrow shape or even a blanket roll behind you, and we're gonna lie down so that that pillow is underneath the back of the rib cage. So we're gonna counter pose that forward bending sequence with a gentle back bend. So that blanket roll or pillow is gonna elevate the rib cage a little bit. And then the arms can come out to a T, or the arms can come into cactus. So you can bend the elbows or just bring them out to a T with the palms facing up. And again, you always have the option to give yourself a little bit more height on the pillow. If it's too much, give yourself a little less pillow. But the shape should feel pretty nice after those few forward bend sequences we did. And just notice any imprint of those forward folds. And notice how this counter pose feels as we kind of take the body in the very opposite direction we were just in for 3 poses. Allow the rib cage to relax and soften and open. Like the ribs were just pages of a book being opened in half and just kind of spilling over to the side. And notice how your breath feels in this shape, right? Very opposite of those forward folds. And perhaps you feel it a little easier to breathe into the front of the body. But see if you could still breathe into the back of the body a little bit also here. So continue to feel the back of the ribs and the back of the waist and the back of the lungs. And make
make sure you're letting go of the weight of your head, right? So the head should be really heavy, almost like it can make an imprint in the floor here, like sinking down into the ground. And let the eyes start to feel a little heavier in their sockets. And release the corners of the mouth. Allow your body to just kind of pour itself over that support, that pillow that's under the ribs. Like you're just spilling off from side to side, and your body's kind of melting in either direction. Be the observer of the mind. Notice any thoughts. And continue to practice letting them go. Stay here for a few more rounds of breath. Allowing the heart to open. And bringing in any good vibes that you need, any good emotions, any good thoughts. Just let yourself absorb them in this position, this receiving position. Right, so as opposed to our forward bends that kind of closed us off, our back bends open us up. So take in anything that you need here. All good stuff. Good energy, good vibes, good thoughts. And if you can, without sitting up all the way, try not to sit up all the way if you can avoid it. Bend the knees and just gently roll to the side to come off of your little pillow, mini pillow fort that you had. And we're going to move right into Shavasana from here. So if you can manage without sitting up, go for it. But if your pillows are too far away, you need to sit up, that's fine too. So I will recommend a pillow underneath your knees, taking the legs a little wider. Only if you have like a teeny tiny pillow, like I could use the corner of this pillow for your head. You don't want your neck up too much at all. You just want to keep it in neutral. And sometimes a tiny bit of height brings it to neutral, but look, it's got to be really little. If you don't have anything little, don't even worry about
What you can do, which is kind of nice, is when you bring your arms out to the side, you can give a little pillow support to the forearms and the hands. Palms are facing up. If you're lucky enough to have a little like eye pillow, get that out. Or you can even just place a piece of fabric over your eyes. Like if you have a sweatshirt nearby, if you have a towel nearby, you can place that over the eyes and just allowing the light to get shut out a little further. And as we come to this final resting position, Shavasana is translated into corpse pose, which means it is the end or the death of our practice. Notice if there's any space you're still holding on to tension, and let it go. Relax your shoulders. Let the weight of the head be so heavy now. Let the weight of the arms be heavy. Let your torso be heavy. And let your hips be heavy. And let the legs be heavy. Let the bones start to feel heavy. And let the organs inside the body start to feel heavy. And now sense that your skin starts to feel heavier. Almost as if a weighted blanket was placed on top of you. Separate the teeth. Relax the jaw. Let the eyes be heavy in their sockets. And let the brain relax in the skull. And see if you can sense your body slowly sinking into the earth beneath you. Letting gravity completely take over. But still keeping your awareness just on your breath. So practice shutting everything else out. Accept your attention to your inhales and exhales. And if you notice your mind wandering, it's actually a good thing because again, you noticed it. And now just practice trying to refocus on your breath and letting those thoughts pass you by.
Slowly start to deepen your breath. And gently move around the fingers and the toes. Circle the ankles and the wrists. And move or stretch in any way that you need to reawaken. And when you're ready, bend the knees and roll all the way to the right side. Use your bottom arm as a pillow to rest your head on. And slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Taking the hands to meet gently at the center of the heart. Keeping your gaze soft. And we'll close with one gentle Om. Inhale. Om. Light within me sees and honors the same light within each of you. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.